Well, the Traxxas TRX 4M has been a real popular gift for Christmas. I hope you got one underneath the tree. I know I did. But hey, you know what? We need to go check my stocking. Well, Christmas came early, and my stocking was full of cool items. Can you wait? I can't. Let's see if we can put these on our truck. Well, let's see now. We got some goodies, and guess who we got some goodies from? We got some stuff from Reefs RC that we're going to install on our TRX 4M. So we got the servo mount for the TRX 4M, and we have the Micro 99 brass servo, which is going to add some weight to the truck and also some steering authority. Something else, you know, we just got to have. So we got to have a push bar because we're going to push some stuff around. And because we're looking for stability, we're going to put some of the brass parts from Traxxas on our rig. So the 9733 steering C, the brass portal covers, Traxxas number is 9787, Traxxas 9737 steering knuckles, and because we're going with the Reef RC heavy duty servo, we'll put some heavy duty steering links on it. So we got the aluminum servo horn and steering rack, and because we got to look cool in the dark, we're going to throw the lights in the roll bar. So let's get to this. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be removing our original servo here. The mount that is surrounding it is going to be replaced. We're going to go into the bottom end of the truck and remove these steering knuckles, this steering rod, and our diff covers, and some other goodies. So we'll put this into time-lapse mode and we'll get to work. Well, here is our specs on our Micro 99 servo, and let's see if we can get there. There we go to focus, and you can see that we're looking at a servo with about 89 inch-ounces of torque at 6 volts, which is probably what we're running on board the Traxxas TRX 4M. With aftermarket equipment in the truck, we could go to 7.4 or 8.4 volts on this servo, which is pretty dramatic, going up to 115 inch-ounces of torque, and a 0.08 transit time. But 0.11 seconds and 89 inch-ounces of torque are going to be pretty quick for this puppy, and I don't think we're going to need that much more, but we're going to test drive it after we get done. So opening up the box, here's what we got. We open her up and we got a lovely Reefs RC decal that we can put somewhere on our stuff. And we got some plastic servo horns. Of course, we ain't going to need these because we're going full metal. See you later. There is the beauty of this though. It is the 99 brass servo. Let's just pop you out of the box. And I'm going to do a quick weight comparison on this too. So let's go do that. Okay, here we got our Starfrit scale, and this is what I use for mostly selling stuff online, but today we're going to find out that we got 11 grams on the Traxxas stock servo. Now let's put the pig on here. Whoa, 35 grams! That is dramatic in difference of weight. And while we're here real quick, let's have a quick look at the size differences. Now, you can see a little bit more length in there, which is going to be okay because we got lots of clearance up through the frame on the truck. But yeah, that's like holy moly. 11 grams compared to 35. That's pretty heavy. Okay, gang. One of the things that I wanted to try and test out here was, why am I putting a Reefs servo in my TRX 4M? Well, torque and power are all important in steering. And what we did with the stock Traxxas servo, which you see right there, is the push-up test. Here's my ancient servo tester, which uses a LiPo battery for power because I tried another one and all it did was stall out. And in case you don't know what this is, these are dive weights. That is 10 pounds of what usually sinks me underwater. So, hiding underneath there, ready to do the push-up test, is the Reef servo. This thing over here got to 6 pounds, and after that started saying, I'm not going to do this. So now, here we are at 10 pounds with the Reef, and look at that. She's still doing push-ups. So that's why I'm putting one of these in my truck. Okay, gang, let's get back into some work here. We're going to time lapse. Okay, so here we have our completed assembly on the front end with our brass parts installed. So when you're building one of these, you want to make sure that your blocks go on the right way. They're marked right and left. And the thread lock and the screws, you want to leave it just a little bit loose. So if you tighten it up all the way, you might find it binds a bit. So we're just going to back these off just a touch. And then check them to make sure that they move freely, which this does now. Nice and loose, just the way we want it. So we're going to put that assembly aside for now and move on. Okay, gang, after the parts from Reefs got installed, I came up with a problem. The Reefs mount and the servo horn were not going to be anywhere near our aluminum rack from Traxxas. So what I had to do is I took, and what's in my hand is a 1/8 brass tubing from K&S, and I sleeved the inside of the 1/8 with 2.5 millimeter K&S tubing. There's your part number for that. That slipped inside the 1/8 tubing, went with a 2 millimeter screw, thread locked it, and I think I've got a pretty smart and cool looking custom made part, which makes that perfect in my book. At any rate, I'll show you it operating later. Hey gang, again, we've got our front end all back together and installed, but there's a couple little things that we'll go over. Now, I don't know if this is because I'm using the long wheelbase F-150, which is a little different from the standard TRX-4Ms, but I discovered that the Reefs microservo has the wire coming out right here, and it also was going to rub because this was actually all the way up to here, this plastic portion, which is the cross brace. It's marked front and rear for these braces, so this one it says front and the bottom. So if you are going to modify your front end, guess what I can tell you? Take the word front, which is right here, and grind the word front out, and then radius your edges here, and boom, you've got it just about perfect for any angle this thing can possibly go through to move that in and out where it needs to be. Second thing, two fingers. We had the wire going up the chassis here and through all of the loom like it's supposed to, and it got to here, which is, of course, the, let's use our pointer. It gets to the receiver. Now, this was about, let's call it 3 millimeters too short. You can see it right there. That's where it was ending, and there's no way that was going to plug in. So what I did is I made myself a very short extension here, which actually plugs in like so, and it's going to lay down with the motor wire and get zip tied right in there, and that's going to tidy that all up. Now, if you are an inexperienced RCer or don't have some cool tools like That guy right there, that is your specialized tool that you will require to actually make your own leads. If not, try and find a small, it's going to be like a 3-inch extension for a servo, or you can take a 6-inch and bundle up a whole lot of wire. I don't like a lot of wire hanging around if I can help it, so that's why I made my own. Okay, one other thing we'll touch on here in regards to servos and quality. Here's our stock servo that came out of the TRX4M. Now, nothing really wrong with this servo. It's a good little servo. It does its job. But can you hear this? That is when you have a coarser gear set inside a servo. Now, there are a lot of servo companies that you pay a little more money for their servos, and then you get that quieter sound. And look at the authority that we've got with the Reefs 99 Micro. So the Reefs 99 Micro is probably going to have a very fine-pitched slant cut gear set, which is much nicer, much quieter, less friction, and very precise. So another good reason why we went with that particular servo. And we'll give you a quick look over the completed TRX4M now with our lights installed, and wow, those are bright. Here is the bumper bar. Now this actually is the bumper bar for the Chevy bumper. I didn't know that at the time, but you know me, I'm not going to let a little thing like that stop me. So I was able to, if you can see it in there, let's see if we can focus. There you go. A little bit of Dremel work, and that sucker fit on perfect. And you can't tell, especially from back here. Hey Jethro, how's it going? You want to do the wrap up for the TRX4M? Yeah, he says. Okay. Well, as it's Christmas and stuff like that, everybody's going to be getting all these cool gifts and presents, and we picked a list of stuff that I thought would go well on the TRX4M, and wearing my little Santa hat here as one of his elves, I'm a toy man. So I will go over the list of some of the modifications we did here, which of course was the Reef servo. The Reef servo mount, the Traxxas steering rack, all the Traxxas brass portions for the front steering, which was a C-hub, the steering knuckle, and of course the diff covers. Most of the truck is stock still. We've got the bushings inboard on all the rotating surfaces, because if this thing gets into some water, we don't want the bearings to really rust out. I feel they'll probably work for quite a while without getting too sloppy. And when they do start to get sloppy, let's ditch those puppies and put some bearings in there. But at any rate, I hope you enjoyed this review, and please support your local hobby store. High Performance Distributing is, of course, a Traxxas distributor in Canada and supplies all of your hobby stores with these fine products. So if you want to purchase these things, please see your local hobby store. Use the High Performance Distributing dealer finder to find the nearest guy to you, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.